drawbacks of speaking last. We don't have many people, but I promise you it will be interesting. I promise you that you've not heard this before. I'm Dr. Dipika Agrahar Murugkar. I am the head and principal scientist at the Center of Excellence for Soybean Processing and Utilization, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. My basic focus area is research, so what I will be speaking on is things I have worked on. Basically, I am a person of nutrition and food processing, and I'm going to talk about soybean. We've all heard about soybean, all of you have heard about soybean, and now many of you have also probably heard of tofu, soy milk, sunane. So basically we're looking at soybean farming in India. Initially it started from the Southeast Asian continent. It has come into India in the 1970s, rapidly expanded, and now it is the 5th global producer. If you say soybean India में नया है, हम नहीं खाते, तो मैं कहूँगी मत खाओ चिली, मत खाओ टमाटर, मत खाओ मक्का, मत खाओ पनीर, अरे मत खाओ आलू. ये सब आए हैं बाहर से, तो ये भी आया है, लेकिन recent entrant है, recent as in 1970s, and therefore many people it's not as acceptable. COVID helped us, things changed. So now India is the largest non-GMO producer of soybean. We have excellent varieties. MP is the #1 producer. Great climate for soybean we have. It grows in various agroclimatic zones and is very helpful to the farmer. Mainly it started for the production of soya oil. It is one of those where you need solvent extraction for taking out the oil, and that was how it came, because it came with US backing. They wanted our oil. When we started looking at the bean, we realized that it is the only vegetarian source with 40% protein. High quality protein, PDCAS, protein digestible corrected amino acid score of 1, which is equivalent to any milk or any other non-vegetarian protein. It is the only protein source, unlike dals, which does not have starch. If a dal has 18% starch, 25% starch, protein, the rest of it is starch. But here we have something called oligosaccharides, and I will be explaining to you what these do. This is the soybean. We have on the left defatted soya flour after extraction of the fat. Dr. Chittawar was talking about protein, whey protein isolate, and lactose hai, digest nahi hota. But when we look at the vegetarian soy protein concentrate, soy protein isolate, and soy protein hydrolysate, it has 70% protein, 90% protein, and 98% hydrolyzable protein. When I'm saying percent, that means in 100 grams, almost all of it is protein. We have simple soy milk and tofu. I will talk about the problems that you would have perceived if you have, and I will tell you what the changes have come. It can be eaten as roasted nuts, fried nuts. There are lots of value-added products. We work in the research. I am a Norman Borlaug Fellow. I am also an ICR National Fellow, and my major work, my patents, come from the area of utilizing millets and utilizing high protein soy and bringing them back into the Indian diet in a milieu that is tasty, because let's face it, I will talk about high protein diet and everything, but when I go home, I want to eat something that's tasty, that's easy to make, that will, which will become easy in my life. Our lives are stressful as menopausal women. We have so many stresses. We don't want anything to add any more stress. We want easy, because we've lost those caring hormones. We are almost like men now. We don't care, we don't mind saying no, we don't want to be perfect, we don't want to please anymore. Our hormones are gone. So let's enjoy being like men for a little while. These are the nutrients in soy. Protein number 1, 40% great protein. The area where I'm going to talk about today has got everything to do with menopause, and those are isoflavones. A very, very important component in soy. It is called as the phytoestrogen. Estrogen mimicking. You don't have estrogen? No problem. If you eat soy and you eat the isoflavones, it will mimic your estrogen. You can't take HRT. It's troubling you. You can take soy. You can have your isoflavones. Fiber, another important source for women. Healthy fats. We have both the omega-3 and omega-6. Vitamins, carbohydrates, antioxidants, minerals. It's got everything that you require. But let's focus on isoflavones. It has two main isoflavones, genistein and diazin, and these plant compounds mimic estrogen. When I say they mimic, they basically bind to the estrogen receptors, but they have weaker effects. Obviously, it's not from the body. It has been found that Southeast Asians who consume this regularly, as soy milk and tofu are part of their diet, they get 30 to 50 milligrams per day as compared to Western diets, and I would think we're somewhere in between, neither here nor there. So which Western diets get less than 2 milligrams, and these phytoestrogens are occurring naturally in plants, and isoflavones make a majority chunk in them. This is the pathway it follows. On the left, you can see the classical pathway, the normal estrogen receptors and estrogen, how it functioned in the body. On the right hand side, we see the non-classical pathway where we have G protein coupled estrogen receptors. It follows a different pathway, so it acts as a weak estrogen agonist. But for someone who has no estrogen, any estrogen is good. So this is where we need to look at it. What are the benefits of isoflavones? First, it reduces hot flashes. Of all the symptoms that menopausal women face, this is the one which troubles us the most. We are sitting in a meeting. Unfortunately, in research, more men than women. I work in an institution where there are 80 male scientists and 5 women scientists. So we're sitting in a meeting. Everyone is saying, "Thanda lag raha hai, AC kam karo," and you're sitting there sweating, and they're looking at you, "Madam, kya ho gaya aapko? What do you say?" You know, it's very, very hard. So this is one of the important things. Second, it supports bone health, because osteoporosis is a huge problem in menopause. Heart health is an issue. मूड का तो पूछो ही मत. हमको पता है हम इरिटेटेड है, हमको पता है हमारे फैमिली त्रस्त है, हमको ये भी पता है हम कुछ कर नहीं पा रहे हैं. You know, it's very hard, and unfortunately our families, the way they show support is क्या हो गया, कुछ हुआ क्या, and you have no answer to that क्या हो गया. It's very hard, and then you get irritated, and you say कुछ नहीं हुआ, and the family says यार I was trying to help. So this is the milieu that we have. So this is how it helps in bone health. It increases osteoblasts. All of you are doctors. It helps in building bone. Hormone balance, because it binds to estrogen receptors, resulting in fewer hot flashes. There is an antioxidant protection as well, because it gives a huge amount of antioxidant protection. So basically it supports bone health, reduces menopausal symptoms, and protects cell from damage. All of these. Now Dr. Chittawar went a little bit here. We've currently in our research work, we're working on the gut microbiota, because that is the key. The gut, they say, is the second brain. I say it's the first brain, because anyone who's hungry, constipated, diarrheal cannot think. You can't think in any of this. So if your gut's not okay, your brain's not working. So I think the gut is the first brain. And we are now working on soy isoflavones because they are promoting good bacteria. They improve beneficial bacteria. We've come up with a whole range of fermented soy products which enhance the short chain fatty acid production. It also influences the bile acid metabolism. Lot of us are not able to digest our fats properly. Fat digestion is also poor, and when I say fat digestion is poor, fat is a source of energy. Fat is important. I mean 90% of our brain is fat. If we are not able to utilize fat for what it's supposed to and it's just being stored, that is not going to help. So all these things, soy has a very, very important factor and role in the gut microbiota, and current research that we are doing right now is we are working on this area. We are trying to introduce new products with a probiotic range, which I will come later. So this is the intervention of soy in metabolic diseases. Now we all know about the metabolic syndrome. It isn't a single thing, it's a complex. We have insulin insufficiency, insulin insensitivity, leading to so many other problems, heart health, and it all originates in the gut. So basically, when we have a balanced microbiome, the insulin sensitivity is high, there is less fat accumulation, less liver fat, and when that thing changes, it really doesn't work very well. So eating soy improves glycemic control and lipid profiles. Anything that is high in protein automatically helps you for glycemic control because it helps you to feel fuller. Like everyone has mentioned before, the amount of energy required to digest protein is higher. Therefore, the amount of eating becomes less because you don't feel super hungry all the time. It reduces adiposity, and most importantly, what has been found, that it modifies the microbiota composition, which helps the gut to remain healthy. Our villi, which is eroded, we have conditions like leaky gut, we have dysbiosis. All these can be supported by including soy in your diet. These are the basic known health benefits of soy compounds, but there are some issues. These issues you have also seen. The first issue is it contains an inhibitor. It contains trypsin inhibitor. All pulses, all whole pulses do contain some or the other anti-nutrients, and that is the way of nature helping them to prevent pest attacks. They protect themselves against pests, they protect against insect attack, microbial diseases of plants. This is how they help. And for example, rajma, everyone knows rajma, channa. You soak it overnight, you throw the water and do it. Here you need a little more work to get rid of trypsin inhibitor. It is destroyed by heat. So processing becomes very important. Flatulence factors, because it has oligosaccharides, if your gut microbiota is not okay and you have too much of this, it does cause a bit of bloating. And it has a beanie flavor. Most of the people will say कि मेरे को soya milk और tofu में smell आता है. So processing is the key, and I'll tell you how it's done. There are two ways of getting better results. We've come up with two new varieties. It is extensively grown now in MP. It is called the NRC 142 and 152. There are several others, but I'm just going to focus on these two. These are the first soybean variety with double null traits. What do I mean by double null? It does not have the gene for trypsin inhibitor. It does not have the gene for lipoxygenase. Trypsin inhibitor causes trypsin disruption in the stomach, due to which heat was required, and lipoxygenase is responsible for the beanie odor. So these new varieties, they have almost negligible beanie odor. They have no anti-nutritional factors, higher protein, better taste. It is very, very ideal for making soy milk, tofu, soy flour. It also has a great yield. Farmers are happy. the plant that we have, it's called the soy cow. Now, Bhagwan ne cow nahi banaya hamare liye. We have to get milk from soy, so we have the cow. The first one on the left is the steam generator. So it is generating the steam. Then we are adding soaked soybean into the grinding and the cooking unit. Is this the pointer? Yeah. So we are adding it into the grinding and unit. Now this unit is sealed. It is ground in vacuum. So with the steam entry, it grinds. The temperature also goes up at the same time. After 20 minutes of reaching a pressure of 120 psi, like your normal pressure cooker, it is ground inside, and then it moves to what is called a deodorizer. By chance, if you are not using 142 and 152, not everyone has a variety, there is going to be bean odor. So we've created a deodorizer. It sucks out all the smell that is there, and then this deodorizer takes in all of it, and then you get milk. I have videos of it. In case anyone is interested, we will show you. I can show you how it works. Now, what it does. Now let's look at studies. Let's look at studies of people who've been continuously consuming soy. I think that any food is validated only across generational study. And since India has not consumed it for so long, let's look at people who have. Japanese women, when they consumed soy, their hot flushes were moderate. In general, the hot flushes are much higher in Western. Why is it lower in Japanese? They attribute it to soy because of the higher isoflavones that they have. If you look at the Japanese bone density study that has been done by Somkawa et al., a higher soy intake, they found higher bone mineral density, reduced menopausal symptoms, and they found a reduced menopausal symptoms, especially in Asian thing. The Chinese menopausal, postmenopausal study also showed the same effect, and the Chinese and the Japanese prospective study also showed the same effect. Now you must have heard on the net, anyone if you put na, they will say कि सोया बहुत खराब है, बच्चों को नहीं खाना चाहिए, आदमी लोग औरत बन जाते हैं. Some you hear all this, but I think a human body is extremely intelligent. अब मैं कितना भी weights उठाऊं, मुझे आदमियों की तरह मसल नहीं आएगा. I don't have testosterone. If I eat testosterone, my body doesn't recognize it, it will just break it down. Similarly, for men, if they eat, if at all they eat estrogen from food, which is also first of all a very mild source, it is just broken down. So to say that there are issues with soy, generally most of them are myths. There is something called equal, which is a metabolite of diazine, and it is found much higher in Asians, and therefore the Asian population responds better to isoflavones in reducing the hot flashes and all the other menopausal disorders. Now there are some Western studies which have showed mixed results, which have showed that there are problems. But why? First of all, as I said, to test any food, it has to be a transgenerational study. It was always conducted in a short thing. When you use something as a supplement, when you extract it, their effects are very different from eating it as a whole food. You know, anything you take out, like today they'll say you can't drink coffee, tomorrow they'll say coffee is very good. Because they do those experiments on rats after concentrating. I'm a research scientist, I do the same. But extrapolating those results, we have to be very, very careful. Also, low baseline exposure will be there for the thing, and microbiome, as we have seen. The Asian microbiome is very different from the European microbiome, so that is one of the reasons why it happens. The advantages of having soy, like not everyone can do HRT, it is natural, it has fewer side effects, It is very affordable. Right now we produce, there are lots of companies who have taken training. We do trainings for entrepreneurs who want to do soy milk and tofu. And these entrepreneurs are selling it at 50 rupees for 200 grams. That's not a very expensive proposition, and it is easily incorporated into the diet. So what we have done in our, we have a creche and we have this thing. So for the evening snack, we just give the children 50 grams or 100, if some older children, even 100 grams of tofu, just lightly toasted with a little bit of salt and chaat masala. They just finish it up quickly. And with every 100 grams, you are getting 15 grams of good quality protein. Easy, no cooking, no fussing, no putting, no issues. So that it's very easy to be part of the diet. However, there are certain contraindications. People who do have estrogen-dependent cancer, thyroid disease. I'm not talking of hypothyroidism. There are a lot of other higher ranges of thyroid disease. That should be avoided. We should avoid high dose supplements and always prefer whole foods. I have said that it's very boring, we will not eat food unless it's tasty, so we are trying to come up with new products. The first is soy amrakhand. This is fortified, it's a probiotic amrakhand, but it's made of soy. We have soy butter to replace normal butter, which has 39% protein. We have come up with vegan chocolates. We have come up with 3 other types: probiotic, prebiotic and symbiotic vegan chocolates. We have the soya chap. For those, the market soya chap is only maida. So we have the real soya chap with soy, with a high percentage of soy. We also have probiotic milk powder. If you're traveling, you think that you need to have, you can take it with you, mix it in a glass of water, and you can have your probiotic soy milk powder. So lots of research happening. Let food be your medicine. Easier said than done unless it's a lifestyle change. This is an easy lifestyle change. This is a proven change where it can improve your health. I can assure you that because my hot flushes went down dramatically after having this, and really I was and more than the hot flashes, it improved my mood. And I can tell you this because I had taken over as head, and normally that's not a very nice position. That's a position where people lose their temper. I have not managed to do so, and I think that goes a very long way. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope it's added some new dimension into as we
What
said.
about that soya granules, soya chunks?
Yes.
Is all are working same like this?
Yes, yes. So soya granules are also prepared. The reason why I didn't cover them here is because it is an industrial preparation. It is easily available. So what they simply do is they use defatted soya flour. The effect of soya granules will not be as much as milk and tofu because isoflavones and all these come with fat. When we have those granules, they are defatted soybean, then they are extruded. So if you want to really work, milk, tofu and whole soy products will do a better job as compared to.
And one tradition is that they mix soya flour with the rooting atta flour.
Yes,
Will it help?
yes. It will help, but what happens is they take the गेहूं and the soybean together और उसको पिसवा देते हैं. So the soybean is not processed. Like I said, very very careful. It has to undergo heat treatment. So if you want soya atta in your normal atta, then you need to soak it, you need to pressure cook it, you need to dry it, and then you need to powder it. Then you can add it in your atta in the ratio 9:1. 900 ग्राम wheat का आटा, 100 ग्राम this. So I feel इतना सब परेशान नहीं उठाने से आप soy milk और tofu ले लो और अपने आटा में बेसन मिला लो. That will be easier. I mean, if you want to do this.
So for soya, easy way is only milk and.
There are many products, but easily अभी जो market में available है, अगर मैंने बहुत exotic products बताए, जैसे from soy milk you can make dahi, you can make mattha, you can जैसे नॉर्मल जामुन लगा के करते हैं, you can do all of it. So you can have it in many forms. Tofu ko. Tempeh is basically, yes, it is also a very good product. So what they do is they ferment the tofu. It's a fungal kind of a thing. So they grow that particular fungus on the tofu and it's dried and it's eaten. There are 2-3 companies in Bangalore. Just now a company has set up a huge plant for tempeh. And it's exotic, na? जैसे हमको blueberries, avocado, tempeh is like that. Yeah, same. It's a little more, because you have the fermentation and you have the fungal protein. तो थोड़ा सा, yes.
Soya granule powder, we can mix it with dal.
Yes. You can mix it with, you can make a powder of that. The easy way is वो सोया granule का powder आटे में मिला के.
या दाल में डाल.
हाँ, दाल में डाल. You can do any of those. Yeah.
And hypothyroidism में we can take it.
See, the thing is that whole foods you can take. I also have thyroid. See,
you were mentioning about soya protein powder.
Yes, they are available. They are available. See, for those people who, I have suggested 2 routes. There are those people who go to the gym, उनको whey protein से तकलीफ है. Soy protein is available. But रोजमर्रा के, I'm a nutritionist ना, तो फिर मुझे लगता है कि with this heavy dose of protein, especially with isolates or hydrolysates, gut कभी-कभी साथ नहीं देता. And for menopausal women, our gut is already weakened. इतना सारा ऐसा प्रोटीन मारोगे, तो वो you will end up with bloating, gas and diarrhea. तो कहाँ का प्रोटीन आपका कुछ absorb नहीं. And I also advise कि if at all you do want to take these proteins, suppose you are supposed to take 30 grams a day, divide it in 3. एक साथ मत खाओ. वो जो ऐसे people chug ना, तो those 20-year-olds who are going to the gym can chug. If we try and do that, हमारे ऑफिस में आसपास लोग बैठने से they will go mad because our stomach will have gone for a royal toss. It will become very
Best way to take a soya protein is soya powder.
My best way is tofu. Easy है. और क्या?
Sometimes not available everywhere.
Nowadays everywhere is available.
Blinkit you can call.
You can call soya in Blinkit. और उसको बहुत और
But it should be fresh ना, ये भी तो है ना.
No, the thing is, it is just like paneer.
It's funny, na?
It
You
is
can't
just like
consume the entire amount in a day. Lot of it is left, and the next day there's some sort of liquid that comes out of it. The packaged tofu.
So anything the way they make it ना, जैसे पनीर का भी सोया दूध लेते हैं और उसको फाड़ते हैं, तो उसमें पानी रहता ही है. So after some time what happens, जो उसका वो पानी छोड़ता है. So there's nothing wrong with that पानी. There's nothing wrong with that.
पानी नहीं छोड़ता बाद में. अपन इसको कपड़े में लपेट के टांग देते हैं या उसको प्रेस कर देते हैं. उसकी वजह से अपन पनीर को यूज करते हैं नेक्स्ट डे भी, तो पानी नहीं निकलता. लेकिन टोफू जो हम बाजार से लेते हैं
because plant, and see that is a colloid. The milk one, there is a difference, no, in the basic the biochemistry, the chemistry of it is different. So there's no problem पानी
the पानी only.
You can have it or you can throw it. It doesn't matter because वो फाड़ा गया है उसको. So that is the difference between animal and vegetable.
And it has to be dipped in water when we store, so that it doesn't
In
get
fact,
hard.
no.
It doesn't. It is written in the instructions. So
It depends on the way it's pressed, but I would always suggest, even with milk paneer, even with soy, bring a small pack, use it. Don't keep it. एक बार खोलो और खत्म करो. 200 ग्राम कुछ ज्यादा नहीं होता. 200 ग्राम आप काट के करोगे तो family of 4 will get 3-4 pieces. That's about it. Not even much. So 50 grams is good. Yeah.
Nice, very good. Very wonderful lecture. Very
wonderful
useful.
And wonderful way of
topic for all of us.
And the way of presentation was very nice.
Yeah, we like that.
I'm also bhugatti